Hey everyone, it's Miss Tapia here. Today we're going to cover in-text citations and works cited within your class presentations. So there are two misconceptions about class presentations. The first is that you don't need to cite your sources because this isn't like a paper that you're writing, and the second one is that you don't need to cite the images or artwork that you're using. Both of these are untrue. In this video, which is especially made for Mr. Pardini's poetry lesson presentation, I'm going to cover the following topics. How to cite a book, because if you're taking your poem from the poetry book, you need to cite that book. Also how to cite information from a database or from the open web, how to cite an image from a database or the open web, how to use in-text citations to refer to the citations that should be in your works cited, and finally, how to format the final slides of your presentation that should also have your works cited. Now you may be asking me, but why do I need to do this, Ms. Tapia? First of all, we avoid plagiarism by citing words, ideas, and images that are not our own. It is also a guideline in our student and family handbook that you should not be plagiarizing. Second, it shows your teacher that you are a responsible, credible, and ethical scholar. And lastly, we are Sacred Heart Cathedral Preparatory. We are preparing you for college. As you probably guessed, I suggest you use NoodleTools.com, log in with your Google shcp.edu address, create a new project, and why don't you name it the name of the poet you will be presenting. I'm going to stick to MLA citation, and I'm going to select the junior level. Once you're there on your dashboard, and if you are working with a partner, I suggest that you add your partner with their shcp.edu address here, and you click done, and now you both are able to see the same project and create citations together. I'm going to click on the sources tab, and I'm going to cite my book. So I'm going to click on new source first. This is print or in hand, and it is a book. An easy way to cite a book is you turn your poetry book over and you will see a barcode. Above that barcode is an ISBN number. It stands for International Standard Book Number. You plug that in, you click search, and you find the corresponding record. You select it and you click import selected source, make sure all the information is correct, and save it. And that's how you do your book citation. The next thing I'm going to show you quickly is how to use one of our databases and cite from the database. So this is the Biography and Context database, and I'm going to go ahead and type in the name of my poet, W.S. Merwin. When I click enter, it might give me some results. Here we go. And I just want to point out at the top we have biographies, news, images, academic journals, all of these things to explore. But I'm going to go ahead and click on the first entry, and I can kind of tell already it's not really going to serve me well. So I'm going to look to my right, and there's some other things I can explore. This one seems to be a little better. Of course, you want to read it to make sure that you're actually going to use it, and if you decide that you are, you're going to click on the Cite button in the top right-hand corner. Here's our citation in MLA format. I'm going to click NoodleTools, and at the bottom I can see my project, and I'm going to click Import References. The green bar at the top means I've done it correctly, and if I go and refresh my sources page, there I have it. The thing I want to point out is that if you are working with a partner, you need to make sure that you communicate who is doing what, or else you might double up the citations unnecessarily. So make sure you're communicating with one another, who is doing the biography, who is doing what slide. That's really going to help you along the way. Another thing I wanted to point out are the images. The reason we like these images that come from databases is because they already give us the image citation. I can see here all of the info. So again, all I need to do is click cite, and I do the same thing I did with the article earlier. The next database I want to show you is Gale Literary Source. The password is there written underneath. And in this one, I'm going to type the name of the poem, or you could also type the name of the poet. It's up to you. You want to experiment with the different keywords you try. So in this one, I can see that these articles specifically mention the poem that I will be talking about. So again, I click on that. And if I read it, you might be able to parse out some useful information that you might want to teach your class. If you don't want to look through the whole article, you can use Control or Command F to search the keywords in the page, as I am doing here. Don't forget that if you're going to use this information, you need to cite it, and you do the same thing you did before. All right, but what if you use some information from the open web? So first of all, I'm using Google here, and I want to look through the different results that it's given me. The source that you choose should be credible, reliable, authoritative, accurate, and purposeful. I'm going to use Poetry Foundation here because their purpose is to share information about poetry. Citing a web page takes a little more work. In NoodleTools, I go to New Source, Website, Web Page. And here I'm going to manually need to copy the URL, or Universal Resource Locator, the address, copy, and I'm going to paste this into the URL box. Next, I need to find the date of publication. I don't see it in the beginning and I don't see it at the end of this article, so I'm going to leave that blank. The most recent date of access is today. Next, I need to look for the author of this page. So I'm going to scroll up or down at the bottom of the article to look for an author's name, and I don't see one. So I'm going to leave that one blank. I know that the next thing that NoodleTools is going to ask me for is the name of the web page. And so I copied the name of the web page there. I know the name of the website is Poetry Foundation, so I'm going to plug that in. I need to find the publisher, and so to find that I go to the bottom and I can see next to the copyright that it is also Poetry Foundation. So I copy and paste that there as well. And then I save that when I am done. The next thing I want to show you is an image database that we have at SHC called Encyclopedia Britannica Imagequest. You click on it, you should have saw our username and password there, and I'm going to type in the keyword of my poet's name, and I can see some pictures of him here. So this one we've already seen before. I'm going to use it in a different example, but perhaps I want to use this one. So if I click on that, I see cite in the bottom left. And there's already a citation there for me, but no export feature. So I copy and paste this citation, and I'm going to click on NoodleTools. I click on New Source. This is from a database, and it is an image. So I already have that citation, so I'm going to go up here to copy and paste a citation, and I'm going to paste it into this box. Make sure it's all just kind of one line, and click Save. And here I can see that citation, but what if I use an image from the open web? Again, that's going to take a little bit more time for you to do on your own. So for example, if I wanted to use this image here from him, I can see at the bottom that this website gave credit to the photographer and the company that published the image. So I'm going to take note of the photographer. I'm going to click New Source, Website. This is an image. And again, I have to type in all of this information. The container website is Poetry Foundation. We know that that's also the publisher. Again, copying and pasting this time the image address. I right-clicked on the image and copied the image address, and I put that into the URL. I don't know the date of publication, but I do know the photographer. I accessed this today, and I'm going to paste the photographer's name. Let me copy that again. I'm going to paste that into the first name box and the last name box. This is an image. Now, we don't have a title for this photograph. So in this case, we'll leave it untitled, but we will provide a description instead. So I'm going to go ahead and title it W.S. Merwin, black and white, because I am describing the photo. And I can go ahead and save this citation as well. So let's say now you're putting together your presentation and you need to add in your in-text citations. A useful thing to do is, because you've already cited this as you've been researching, you just click print export to Google Docs, and what that will do is it will create a perfectly formatted MLA Works Cited page for you. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy and paste the body of my Works Cited page. And then I'm going to paste all of these citations into the final slides of my presentation. So that's what I did here. Of course I can't see it, so I'm going to turn it to match the style of my presentation. If your Works Cited goes too long, you just keep creating new slides and you just keep continuing the citations. I want to point out that if you are using some generic image, you still need to cite it because it is not your own. You can see that this in-text citation matches the beginning of the full citation in the Works Cited. Now, if you need to, you do need to put a little tag on the photos that you are using in your presentation. So for this one, let's say I don't know what to put there. So I just go to the source of that photo, and in NoodleTools, I can find the citation, click Options, In-Text Citation, and it tells me there what I should put in those parentheses. This is just like if you were writing an essay. Okay, so we're going to click Close, and now I know what needs to be here. I can make the text very small and at the very bottom so that it's not noticeable, but we are still giving credit where credit is due. If you need to see an example of an ultra superior presentation that I've altered a bit so that it is perfect, you can go ahead and look in the Schoology, in Mr. Pardini's Schoology folder, where he has all of the examples for you. And of course, if you need any help, go ahead and email me at atapia@shcp.edu. Good luck!